You are tired in a way that sleep does not touch. It is the specific exhaustion of a fight you cannot seem to win, no matter how hard you swing. You have been defending yourself for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to simply rest. You rehearse arguments in the shower. You draft messages you never send. You lie awake at night building the case, assembling the evidence, imagining the moment you finally get to set the record straight and everyone sees the truth. Somebody said something about you that was not true, and it stuck. Somebody took something from you, and nobody stopped them. Somebody twisted your name, misread your heart, or turned people against you, and you have spent months, maybe years, trying to correct it. And the more you fight, the more tangled it becomes. You are swinging with everything you have, and the battle will not move. And here is the lie the enemy whispers into that exhaustion. He says if you stop fighting, you lose. He says silence will be read as guilt, that stepping back means letting them win, that if you do not defend yourself, nobody else will. He tells you that your reputation, your justice, and your vindication all rest entirely on your own shoulders, and that the moment you lower your hands, the whole thing collapses. So you keep swinging, you keep explaining, you keep striving, and he is delighted, because a person locked in a battle that was never theirs to fight will burn every ounce of strength God gave them for something else entirely. But what if that battle was never assigned to you? What if the reason you cannot win it is that it was never yours to win? What if the moment you finally put the sword down is the exact moment God picks it up? In Exodus 14, the people of Israel stood trapped at the edge of the Red Sea. The water was in front of them, and the entire Egyptian army was thundering up behind them. They were unarmed, untrained, and completely cornered, and they panicked. And Moses said something that must have sounded absurd in that moment. He said, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Read that again slowly. You need only to be still, not strategize, not counterattack, not even run. Be still. And when they stood there and did nothing, the sea opened. The very battle they were certain would destroy them was fought and finished by God, while they stood watching with their hands empty. Because here is a truth the enemy never wants you to grasp. Striving in a battle that God assigned to himself is not faith. It is interference. Stillness is not passivity, and it is not weakness. Stillness is trust with your hands open. And there are certain fights in your life where your swinging is the only thing delaying the verdict. Let me show you how this has always been true. Think about King Jehoshaphat. 3 armies were marching on Judah at once, and he had no military answer for it. So he gathered the whole nation and prayed, and God sent word back to him. The battle is not yours, but God's. And then Jehoshaphat did something no general in history would advise. He put singers at the front of the army, not soldiers, worshipers. And as they began to sing and praise God, the invading armies turned on each other and destroyed themselves before Judah ever reached the battlefield. The people of Judah arrived to find nothing but the spoils. They did not lift a single hand, and they walked away with more than they had before the threat came. Sometimes worship accomplishes what warfare never could. Think about King Hezekiah. A message arrived from Sennacherib, the most powerful king in the world, mocking Hezekiah's God and promising the total destruction of Jerusalem. It was a letter designed to break him. And Hezekiah did something remarkable. He did not write back. He did not craft a clever reply or launch a counter-campaign. He took the letter into the temple, spread it out before the Lord, and prayed. He handed the threat directly to God and stepped back. And that night, without Jerusalem firing a single arrow, the entire threat collapsed. Hezekiah won that war by laying the letter down. And the accusation that has been sitting in your chest for months does not need your rebuttal. It needs to be spread out before God and left there. Think about Joseph. His own brothers threw him in a pit, sold him into slavery, and lied to their father about his death. If anyone ever had grounds for revenge, it was Joseph. And for years, he had no way to defend himself. No way to tell his side, no way to correct the record. He simply lived faithfully in obscurity, and God elevated him to the second most powerful position in Egypt. When his brothers finally stood in front of him, terrified, he had absolute power to destroy them, and he did not lift a hand. He said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Joseph never had to fight for his vindication. God arranged the entire room so that the truth came out without Joseph ever having to argue for it. And think about Jesus standing before his accusers. False witnesses lined up against him. The charges were absurd, and the trial was rigged. And he said almost nothing. Pilate was astonished by it. Here was a man with the power to call down legions of angels who could have dismantled every accusation with a sentence, and he answered nothing. He did not defend himself. Read that again slowly. The most falsely accused person in human history refused to argue his case because he knew the verdict was not going to be settled in that room. 3 days later, the resurrection was the reply. And that is how God answers slander against his children. Not with an argument, but with an outcome nobody can dispute. So let me tell you what has really been happening in the battle that has drained you. You thought your silence would be read as guilt. God reads it as trust. You thought stepping back meant losing ground. It means clearing the field so he can move. You thought if you stopped defending yourself, no one would. But the God who opened the sea, who turned the armies on each other, who felled an empire overnight, and who answered the cross with an empty tomb, has been standing behind you the entire time, waiting for you to lower your hands so he could raise his. You are not surrendering. You are being defended. There is a difference between quitting and handing something over, and only one of them will actually set you free. Every ounce of strength you have been pouring into that fight was strength God intended for your calling, your family, your peace, and your future. He is not asking you to abandon justice. He is telling you that justice was never your job to enforce. So put the sword down, not because the battle does not matter, but because it matters too much to be left in exhausted human hands. Let the letter sit in the temple. Let the singers go first. Let the sea open. The verdict on your life is not being written by the person who wronged you, and it is not being written by the crowd that believed them. It is being written by God, and he has never once lost a case he took up on behalf of his child. Some battles end the moment you put the sword down, not because you gave up, but because you finally let the one who never loses take the field. So if this message reached you in the middle of a fight that has drained you today, drop this prayer in the comments right now. Lord, this battle is yours. I am putting the sword down and trusting you to defend me. Say it as your declaration of faith. Say it as your release of a fight you were never meant to carry. Subscribe to the Restorer's Voice for biblical truth that anchors your soul through every season. Share this with someone who is exhausted from defending themselves and needs permission to rest. Keep your head up. You do not have to win this one. It was never yours to fight, and the God who is fighting it has never lost.